Ladies and gentlemen, movie lovers and gamers alike, we are here tonight to celebrate the best, roast the worst, and spotlight the criminally underrated in movies and video games of 2025. No studio bias, no paid opinions, just honest and raw takes of the stuff that I was able to consume this year and the stuff I wish I could unconsume. Now that we understand why we're here, we have a full slate to cover, so let's go over the award categories. Best Movie of the Year. Underrated Movie of the Year. Worst Movie of the Year. Best Game of the Year. Underrated Game of the Year. And finally, Worst Game of the Year. Just as a disclaimer, because I know somebody will say, this is based on the opinion of the RAWard committee. All thoughts and selections are based on what the committee was able to see and experience. Anyways, put on your best suit and tie, your most stunning dress, and enjoy the show. This is your host, Raw, and welcome to the first annual RAWards. We'll kick off the show with the underrated game and movie of the year. The definition of underrated is something that has not been given the recognition or appreciation it deserves. It is often used to describe something or someone that is undervalued or underestimated, like a great movie or video game that critics and the public have overlooked or forgotten compared to its achievements. In the case of underrated game and movie of the year, the RAWard strive to recognize movie and gaming titles that didn't get as much love as they should have gotten. Now that the category is explained, let's see our nominees for RAWard Underrated Game of the Year. Blueprints, Borderlands 4, Split Fiction, and The Altars. And the winner for RAWard Underrated Game of the Year is Split Fiction. Published by EA and developed by Haze Light Studios, aka the minds behind the 2021 Game of the Year, It Takes Two. Split Fiction is a split-screen co-op action-adventure, offering unparalleled variety as you explore vast, contrasting settings. This game emphasizes teamwork, requiring players to coordinate their actions to overcome challenges. Each level introduces new mechanics and abilities ranging from platforming, stealth, puzzles, and even unique vehicle missions. Now, this game was considered by most as Game of the Year material when it initially dropped, but by then, a ton of heavy hitters already entered the market and the Game of the Year field is so stacked. So this game is basically relegated to underrated, even though I think Split Fiction can hang with the big dogs. The heart of the gameplay lies on its emphasis on teamwork, as players guide Mia and Zoe through these imaginative worlds, where they soon discover that collaboration is key to survival. The unique abilities between the duo complement each other perfectly, allowing for dynamic problem solving and action-packed gameplay. Players can expect puzzles that challenge their ingenuity, battles requiring quick reflexes and strategic planning, and emotionally charged moments that deepens the bond between the protagonists. The gist sounds incredibly simple, and it is. Split Fiction's plot isn't by any means revolutionary, nor did it wow me with its story beats alone, but the essence of the game isn't in the story, but rather the gameplay and the visual storytelling itself. Get unique colors, fidelity, ambience, and tone. While on the subject of speaking of the playing experience, the gameplay, to be more specific, is really everything you can ask for. Now, call me a casual, but I never played It Takes Two. What I do know is that if this game is even a fraction or a split what It Takes Two was, then I completely understand and agree with that game being Game of the Year. What makes a game great and stands out is the immersion. It could be the story or the gameplay or both. Nailing these aspects allows the players to attach a set of emotions and memories with the game. Split Fiction is the game we desperately needed in the gaming industry. It's not too niche to where it's off-putting for casuals, but it's also not a cookie-cutter game that tries to replicate the other AAA titles. If you have a significant other, siblings, or friends, I implore you to get this game and play with them. So congratulations to the 2025 RAWard Underrated Game of the Year, Split Fiction. Now we'll move to the movies of 2025, as our underrated movie of the year RAWard nominees are Dangerous Animals, F1, Mickey 17, and The Smashing Machine. So the winner for underrated movie of the year is F1. F1, or more known as F1 the Movie, is a 2025 American sports drama headlined by Brad Pitt playing Sonny Hayes, a former F1 driver who makes a dramatic return to save an underdog F1 racing team. He is joined by Damson Idris, who is a rookie teammate named Joshua Pierce, as both drivers have a battle of ego all while they fight to keep their F1 team from being sold off. The movie had a high budget by most standards, estimated at around $300 million, but it went on to gross around $600 million worldwide. Now, this is successful monetarily, but despite that, many critics and audiences seem to think that F1 is just a flashy summer blockbuster and don't fully appreciate how much it brings in terms of cinematic achievement and the attention to the sport of Formula One. First, the ambition behind this film is so admirable. Filming was done during the real Grand Prix weekends with full cooperation with F1, its teams, and drivers. That level of authenticity is rare in a Hollywood film. By embedding the story in the real Formula One world, the film doesn't just glamorize the sport, it tries to understand its soul, the danger, and the human cost. We then crack the film's emotional core, which is stronger than many expected. On the surface, it's a comeback story. Sonny Hayes returns after decades away to save his former teammates' floundering team, but it's also about legacy, regret, and redemption. Brad Pitt delivers a more nuanced performance than the typical big action star, bringing vulnerability to his character that's packed with emotional weight combined with kinetic racing scenes that gives the film more depth than a standard action flick. Then we get to the spectacle, which in my opinion is the best aspect of this movie. The music to the visual, its technical achievements is truly remarkable. With Hans Zimmer scoring, top-tier cinematography from Claudia Miranda, and Joseph Kosinski direction fresh off of Top Gun Maverick, F1 is a visual and auditory gem. The shots in tandem with the sound design immerses you in the racing scenes in a way which you can almost feel the G-forces. But because it's a commercial summer film, some critics underplay its craftsmanship, treating it more as eye candy rather than serious filmmaking. F1 felt like that risk that paid off. A big budget original film which actually delivered. Even with this commercial success, there still isn't enough critical acclaim for what this movie offers. So in that sense, it's underrated. Not because it failed, but because its warranted praise is being underestimated in terms of artistry, scale, and emotional resonance. Cheers to our 2025 RAWard Underrated Movie of the Year, F1. So we started with the underappreciated, so it's only right to move on to the underhated, aka the worst. The general definition for worst is something that is bad or something that is badly presented or executed in the most extreme or negative way possible. In the case of worst game or movie of the year, we strive to recognize the movie and gaming titles that fucking suck. But seriously, these creations were not it in the slightest, and due to the fairly high quality of movie and games in this year, each category, being for a game and a movie, only has one title that stands alone for being the worst with no other nominees. And with the introductions out of the way, I can now announce our 2025 RAWard for Worst Game of the Year. So the winner is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I can already hear the COD cucks in the comments, but at least hear me out first. As a former COD truther, I was supporting the franchise even when they was dropping straight mid or utter garbage. I've been playing COD since World at War, at an age where I really shouldn't have been playing a game of that magnitude, so I have some skin in the game. And to just say it up front, this game isn't a 0 out of 10, but it is bad, while being the most phoned-in copy-paste AAA title out there. Black Ops 7 is truly a reskin of Black Ops 6, and I know it's a meme to just say that about every yearly release, but I mean it. From the UI, the themes, general gameplay, it's nothing new, it's just same old, and I'm not saying that COD has to revolutionize the industry. Battlefield 6 is very similar to its predecessor, but the difference is that the game that came before it, being Battlefield 2042, was ass, and it sent EA into financial turmoil as a result. The developers behind Battlefield then underwent a seemingly rigorous development process for Battlefield 6, and you could feel the quality and improvement from the last game, even though the gameplay loop is identical. But you see, Call of Duty doesn't care to improve or enhance the quality of the game because COD has essentially attained a monopoly for first-person shooters. And maybe Battlefield's previous failures are to blame for that, but that's not an excuse to deliver a shitty product year in and year out. COD is like crack to some gamers. It's whack, but the addicts come back every time. For this year's fix, we are given a campaign that is so terrible. Something that used to be cinema with great sim immersion, story, giving us some of the game's most iconic moments and characters, has been reduced to a Warzone beta. Yes, for $70, you can literally run around the Warzone map and get sucked into cutscenes with the worst COD characters, dialogue, and plot to date, all in a lifeless, soulless experience. I could meme the ridiculous boss fights, especially the last one, but it's already been slandered enough. Saddest part is you can't even play it offline like traditionally. You have to connect to an online server just to play it solo, and you'll probably just get desynced before you get anywhere. Zombies is so washed that it makes me vibrate in anger. It resembles nothing that zombies used to be, and again, it's just a reskin of the last 3 Treyarch zombie modes, which have been subpar at best. And then there's multiplayer, which is actually passable for a COD multiplayer. There still are things that are mediocre about it. Same or similar guns, perks, and gameplay, and the anti-cheat is still ass. Like dog, the calling cards are AI generated. This is a multi-million-dollar company and they are AI generating calling cards. Activision will literally feed you AI slop and people will still defend this. And look, I'm not saying you're a dum-dum for buying this game and enjoying it. What I am saying is that this game is the worst example of a big gaming company pissing on you and telling you it's raining. Are we really paying $70 just for an okay multiplayer with a shit zombies and campaign mode? I would say that's not a bargain at all. Personally, I've outgrown the need for Call of Duty. There are much higher quality games, whether an FPS or a whole other genre, that values you and your overall experience. It's popular to trash on COD nowadays, but you can't sit here and say this isn't justified. So yeah, it earned itself worst game of the year. Congratulations, I guess. So we discussed the worst game of the year, but the Misery Olympics isn't over yet. Sticking on the poo-poo garbage train, we have the winner for worst movie of the year. And that winner is him. Man, when this movie was announced, it sounded so captivating. A psychological horror film about a young, ambitious athlete who's built his identity around the game of football. He gets to be a mentee under the GOAT in this fictional universe and see what it takes to become the greatest. From the teaser and trailers of this movie, it seemed like it would explore the horrors of CTE and how one achieves notoriety in the sport, which includes cult-like rituals, pledging your allegiance to demonic forces, and just being an asshole. And the movie did explore all those concepts, but as you can see, it is the worst movie of 2025, so it did something wrong. This movie was rated poorly and it flopped at the box office, so it was not only a critical failure, but a financial one as well. So you may be asking, why is it so bad? Well, one of the many vocabulary words of this year is the term performative, and this movie embodies that. The concept is strong, but the execution didn't resonate well with everybody. It lacks coherent tension or any direction, and as a self-proclaimed psychological horror film, you kinda need to nail those aspects. The film's tone and genre identity are inconsistent. Most of the runtime leans more into a stylized sports drama with scattered symbolic imagery. It refuses to commit to either grounded realism or the supernatural, and it causes the film to be in an awkward middle ground. The creepy, spooky scenes were predictable and lingered way too long. Instead, they either felt disjointed, rushed, or oddly placed, leaving the story feeling hollow despite the intriguing setup. The performances in this movie feels like everyone is trying harder than what's required. I don't know, it just feels forced. The whole greatness demands sacrifice theme is constantly stated outright by our characters, or shown by very obvious means. The film gestures towards a deeper commentary about ambition, exploitation, and the cost of athletic success. The movie constantly tells us, but it doesn't show us in a convincing or natural manner. It is the epitome of being fake deep. As a fellow tinfoil hat wearer myself, the subject matter that the movie presented is what pulled me into the theater. It's not too far-fetched to believe that the world's best athletes partakes in the concepts that's presented in this movie. To be great at anything requires some semblance of sacrifice, but to be the world's best, it's believable that some people have to barter with forces beyond normal human comprehension to achieve such things. So when my supernatural psychological horror movie turned into a shitty Skyrim mod in the end, I was left utterly confused. These issues make him feel more like a missed opportunity rather than a meaningful entry in the Jordan Peele horror brand. The thought of this movie is better than the actual movie on screen, and that's why it's the RAWards worst movie of the year. So we talked about the good and the ugly, now it's time to talk about the greats, aka the cream of the crop, the big hitters, or simply known as the best. The definition of the best is the most excellent and desirable product surpassing all others. All titles here need no introduction. So in the realm of gaming, it is my great honor to announce the RAWard nominees for Best Game of the Year. Dispatch, Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. And the 2025 RAWard Best Game of the Year is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You thought I was gonna glaze Expedition 33, huh? Though Expedition 33 is a very good game, let's be honest, that game is gonna win Game of the Year at every other award show. And if we're being doubly honest, the game is good, but is it the best game in the eyes of the RAWard committee? No. The game is just a tad bit overrated. So let's talk about the actual best game of the year. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 delivers an experience that few titles dare to attempt. Total historical authenticity. Rather than relying on fantasy tropes or exaggerated heroics, the game doubles down on realism, placing us in a grounded medieval world where every decision, conflict, and victory feels earned. The biggest strengths of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is its expanded and far more dynamic world. RAWards Studios didn't just make a map bigger, they made it richer, living in an environment where NPCs follow detailed routines, towns react to your actions, and battles unfold based on your choices. The increased scale doesn't sacrifice detail either. Instead, it enhances the immersion, giving players a sense that every corner of the world has a story behind it. This, along with the combat system, character progression, and captivating plot, shows that the game respects the player's time and effort and rewards them with a worthwhile experience. It isn't too much else to say, this is just a solid ass game. It dares to be different. Where many titles just rely on spectacle, this game relies on substance, uncompromising realism, and a world crafted with passion. And just because I say this about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 doesn't mean that Expedition 33 or any of the other nominees didn't have these qualities. They did. I just liked it more in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Thus, it claims the RAWard for Best Video Game of 2025. In the realm of films, it is my great honor to announce the RAWard nominees for Best Movie of the Year. Architecton, Ephes, Sinners, and Sorry Baby. And the 2025 RAWard Best Movie of the Year is Ephes. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've been slacking on the movie front this year. Looked at the list of movies that I actually went out and saw, and it was just superhero movies, movies about sports, or the Minecraft movie. So to avoid the normie allegations, I took a deep dive into the list of the best movies of 2025 to see what are some critically acclaimed options. And the one that truly wowed me was Ephes, which was another sports movie. But it's deeper than that. Ephes stands out as the best movie of 2025 because it delivers a cinematic experience unlike anything audiences have seen in years. The film is centered around one final baseball game between two adult recreational league teams right before their beloved field is demolished. There are no big dramatic arcs or flashy sports set pieces. Instead, it zeroes in on the shared history and camaraderie among the players. The film's slow pace mirrors the titular Ephes pitch in baseball. A slow, looping delivery that confuses batters, making the film feel like a softly spoken conversation about memory, time, and what really matters. Ephes is really about change, aging, and the passage of time. The impending demolition of the field isn't just physical, it's symbolic of lives evolving, traditions fading, and people growing apart. This is not a sports spectacle. It's a meditation on life, captured with humility and grace. As a sports fan, go Guards, I can appreciate it taking the medium of baseball and telling a compelling story unlike any other. Ephes shined by offering something truly distinct, an experience that challenges viewers while also offering them a substantive reflection on the concepts of nostalgia and community. It deserves serious consideration as one of the best, if not the best film of 2025. There we have it. That wraps up the first annual RAWards. 2025 has been a great year for film and gaming, and I look forward to see if 2026 can match its highs and lows. If your favorite won tonight, let me know. And if I missed anything, whether there's a movie or game you think deserved a nomination, or if you think my opinion is completely off base, we can argue about it in the comments. In general, let me know your picks for each RAWard category. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you dislike, tell me why. As always, Jesus loves you all. Get home safe, folks. See you all at next year's RAWards. Peace.